Imagine a civilization so advanced that their inventions, crafted thousands of years ago, still leave modern scientists and historians in awe. The ancient Egyptians weren't just building pyramids and carving hieroglyphs. They were pioneers of innovation, creating tools, systems, and technologies that shaped their world and continue to fascinate us today. From the precision of their calendars to the ingenuity of their irrigation systems, these inventions weren't just practical, they were revolutionary. And here's the kicker: many of these ancient breakthroughs still influence how we live, work, and think in the 21st century. In this video, we're diving into 25 of the most intriguing inventions of the ancient Egyptians' discoveries that will make you rethink what you know about history, technology, and human creativity. So, if you're ready to uncover the secrets of a civilization that was light years ahead of its time, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll see the ancient Egyptians in a whole new light and maybe even wonder how we've managed to catch up. Let's get started. Now, let's turn our attention to one of the most iconic symbols of ancient Egypt, the pyramids. These towering structures are more than just impressive feats of architecture. They are a testament to the ingenuity and ambition of a civilization that thrived thousands of years ago. The Great Pyramid of Giza, for instance, stands as the last surviving wonder of the ancient world, and its construction remains a subject of fascination and debate even today. Built as tombs for pharaohs, the pyramids were designed to ensure the safe passage of rulers into the afterlife, reflecting the Egyptians' deep spiritual beliefs and their reverence for the divine. But how did they build these colossal monuments with such precision? Using massive limestone blocks, some weighing as much as 2.5 tons, the ancient Egyptians employed advanced engineering techniques, including ramps, levers, and a highly organized workforce. What's even more astonishing is the alignment of the pyramids with celestial bodies. The Great Pyramid, for example, is almost perfectly aligned with the cardinal points of the compass, a feat that still baffles modern engineers. Beyond their function as tombs, the pyramids also served as symbols of the pharaoh's power and their connection to the gods. They were not just monuments to the dead but statements of authority, designed to inspire awe and reverence for generations to come. So, the next time you see an image of the pyramids, remember, they're not just ancient ruins. They're a window into a civilization that mastered the art of blending science, spirituality, and sheer human determination. And as we move forward, we'll uncover even more of their remarkable inventions that continue to shape our understanding of history. Now, let's step into the world of ancient Egyptian communication, hieroglyphics. This intricate writing system, with its beautiful and mysterious symbols, was far more than just a way to record words. It was a blend of art and language, a visual representation of the Egyptians' thoughts, beliefs, and daily lives. Hieroglyphics, which means sacred carvings in Greek, were used for over 3,000 years, appearing on temple walls, tombs, and even everyday objects like pottery. But what makes this system so fascinating is its complexity. It combined logographic symbols, which represented whole words or ideas, with phonetic symbols, which stood for sounds. This dual nature allowed scribes to convey both literal meanings and deeper, symbolic messages. For centuries, hieroglyphics remained a mystery to the modern world, their secrets locked away in time. That is, until the discovery of the Rosetta Stone in 1799. This ancient slab of black basalt, inscribed with the same text in 3 scripts, hieroglyphics, Demotic, and Greek, became the key to unlocking the language. Thanks to the efforts of scholars like Jean-François Champollion, who deciphered the stone in the early 19th century, we can now read and understand the stories, prayers, and records left behind by the ancient Egyptians. Hieroglyphics were not just a tool for writing, they were a way to preserve history, honor the gods, and document the rhythms of daily life. From royal decrees to personal letters, from religious hymns to shopping lists, this writing system captured the essence of an entire civilization. So, the next time you see those elegant symbols carved into stone, remember, they're not just ancient art. They're a living record of a people who found a way to make their voices echo across millennia. And as we continue, we'll uncover even more of the ingenious ways the ancient Egyptians shaped their world and ours. Now, let's turn our attention to another groundbreaking invention that revolutionized how the ancient Egyptians recorded and shared their knowledge: papyrus. Imagine a world without paper, where every word had to be carved into stone or written on heavy clay tablets. The Egyptians, however, found a way to make writing lighter, faster, and far more accessible with the creation of papyrus. This early form of paper was made from the papyrus plant, which grew abundantly along the banks of the Nile. The process of making papyrus was both ingenious and labor-intensive. First, the stalks of the plant were cut into thin strips, which were then laid out side by side in 2 layers, one horizontal and one vertical. These layers were pressed together, and the natural sap of the plant acted as a glue, binding the strips into a single, durable sheet. Once dried, the surface was polished to create a smooth writing surface. The result was a lightweight, flexible material that could be rolled into scrolls or cut into sheets, making it perfect for everything from official documents to personal letters. Papyrus didn't just make writing easier, it transformed the way the Egyptians communicated and preserved their culture. For the first time, scribes could record vast amounts of information without the need for heavy, cumbersome materials. This innovation allowed for the creation of detailed records, from tax accounts and legal contracts to religious texts and literary works. The famous Egyptian Book of the Dead, for example, was often written on papyrus scrolls, ensuring that the deceased had the necessary spells and prayers for their journey to the afterlife. Beyond its practical uses, papyrus also played a crucial role in spreading knowledge and ideas. It became a medium for poetry, stories, and even medical texts, some of which have survived to this day, offering us a glimpse into the minds of ancient Egyptians. The impact of papyrus extended far beyond Egypt's borders. It became a highly sought-after commodity, traded across the Mediterranean and used by civilizations like the Greeks and Romans. In many ways, papyrus laid the foundation for the written culture we take for granted today. So, the next time you jot down a note or flip through the pages of a book, remember the humble papyrus plant and the ancient Egyptians who turned it into one of history's most enduring inventions. And as we move forward, we'll explore yet another remarkable creation that showcases the ingenuity of this extraordinary civilization. Now, let's step into the world of timekeeping and discover how the ancient Egyptians mastered the art of measuring days, seasons, and years with their groundbreaking invention, the 365-day solar calendar. Picture this, a civilization thriving along the Nile, where the rhythm of life was dictated by the river's annual flood. To predict these floods and plan their agricultural activities, the Egyptians needed a reliable way to track time. And so, they created one of the most accurate calendars of the ancient world. The Egyptian calendar was based on the cycles of the sun, making it a solar calendar. It consisted of 12 months, each with 30 days, followed by 5 extra days at the end of the year, known as the epagomenal days. These additional days were dedicated to celebrating the birthdays of their gods, adding a spiritual dimension to their timekeeping. What made this calendar truly remarkable was its precision. By observing the annual rising of the star Sirius, which coincided with the Nile's flood, the Egyptians were able to align their calendar with the solar year, ensuring it remained accurate over time. This innovation didn't just help farmers predict the floods, it transformed every aspect of Egyptian life. Agriculture flourished as farmers could plan planting and harvesting with confidence. Religious festivals were scheduled with precision, ensuring that rituals honoring the gods were performed at the right times. Even daily life was shaped by this calendar, as it provided a structured way to organize work, trade, and governance. The influence of the Egyptian calendar extended far beyond their borders. It became a model for other civilizations, including the Romans, who later adopted and refined it into the Julian calendar. In many ways, the 365-day calendar we use today owes its origins to the ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians. So, the next time you glance at a calendar, take a moment to appreciate the legacy of this ancient invention, which continues to shape how we measure time. As we move forward, we'll uncover yet another fascinating creation that highlights the brilliance of this extraordinary civilization. Now, let's turn our attention to another ingenious invention that played a vital role in shaping life along the Nile, the Shaduf. Imagine a vast desert landscape where water is scarce and survival depends on the ability to harness every drop from the river. The Shaduf, a simple yet brilliant irrigation tool, became the backbone of ancient Egyptian agriculture, allowing farmers to lift water from the Nile and channel it to their fields with remarkable efficiency. The Shaduf consisted of a long wooden pole balanced on a crossbeam with a bucket on one end and a counterweight on the other. By pulling the bucket down into the river, filling it with water, and then releasing it, the counterweight would lift the bucket, allowing the water to be poured into irrigation channels. This clever design required minimal effort, making it possible for farmers to irrigate their crops even in the scorching heat of the desert. But the Shaduf wasn't just a tool, it was a lifeline. In a land where rainfall was rare and unpredictable, the Nile's waters were the only reliable source of sustenance. By using the Shaduf, farmers could grow crops like wheat, barley, and flax, which were essential for feeding the population and supporting the economy. This invention transformed barren land into fertile fields, enabling the ancient Egyptians to thrive in an otherwise harsh environment. The impact of the Shaduf extended beyond agriculture. It allowed communities to settle farther from the riverbanks, expanding the reach of civilization along the Nile. Villages and towns could flourish in areas that were once considered uninhabitable, thanks to the ability to transport water over greater distances. This innovation not only sustained life but also fueled the growth of one of the most remarkable civilizations in history. Even today, the Shaduf serves as a testament to the resourcefulness of the ancient Egyptians. Its design has inspired modern irrigation techniques, and its legacy lives on in the countless lives it sustained along the Nile. As we continue our journey through the inventions of this extraordinary civilization, let's take a moment to marvel at how a simple tool could shape the course of history. Next, we'll explore another fascinating aspect of ancient Egyptian ingenuity, one that reveals their mastery of beauty and health. Now, let's step into the world of beauty and health, where the ancient Egyptians showcased their creativity and practicality through the art of makeup and cosmetics. Far from being just a tool for enhancing appearance, makeup in ancient Egypt served a dual purpose. It was both a symbol of status and a means of protection. One of the most iconic elements of Egyptian makeup was kohl, a dark pigment used to line the eyes. Made from a mixture of soot, lead, and other natural minerals, kohl was applied using thin sticks or brushes. But this wasn't just about looking good. The Egyptians believed that kohl had medicinal properties, protecting the eyes from the harsh glare of the sun and warding off infections. In a land where the desert sun could be relentless, this practical use of makeup was as important as its aesthetic appeal. Eye paint, often made from crushed minerals like malachite or galena, was another staple of Egyptian cosmetics. These vibrant greens and blues weren't just for show, they were thought to have protective qualities, shielding the wearer from evil spirits and bad luck. The Egyptians also used these pigments to create intricate designs, blending beauty with spirituality in a way that reflected their deep connection to the divine. Makeup wasn't limited to the eyes, though. The ancient Egyptians used a variety of natural ingredients to create lip stains, face powders, and even perfumes. Red ochre was a popular choice for coloring lips and cheeks, while oils and resins were used to create fragrant balms that softened the skin and masked odors in the hot climate. These cosmetics were often stored in beautifully crafted containers, showcasing the Egyptians' appreciation for both function and artistry. But makeup in ancient Egypt was more than just a personal choice. It was deeply tied to culture and identity. Both men and women wore cosmetics, and the application of makeup was seen as a way to honor the gods. The famous bust of Nefertiti, with her perfectly lined eyes and radiant complexion, is a testament to the importance of beauty in Egyptian society. It was a reflection of one's social standing, health, and devotion to the divine. The legacy of Egyptian cosmetics lives on today, influencing modern beauty practices and reminding us of the timeless allure of self-expression. As we move forward, we'll uncover another remarkable invention that highlights the ingenuity of this ancient civilization, one that continues to captivate us with its mystery and grandeur. Now, let's turn our attention to one of the most iconic and enigmatic symbols of ancient Egypt, the Great Sphinx of Giza. Standing proudly on the Giza Plateau, this colossal statue has fascinated historians, archaeologists, and travelers for centuries. Carved from a single massive block of limestone, the Sphinx is a marvel of ancient engineering, blending the body of a lion with the head of a human, believed by many to represent the pharaoh Khafre. The construction of the Sphinx is a testament to the ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians. It's estimated to have been built around 2,500 years before the Common Era, during the reign of Khafre, who also commissioned the second largest pyramid at Giza. The statue measures approximately 240 feet in length and stands 66 feet tall, making it one of the largest monolithic statues in the world. But what's truly remarkable is how the Egyptians managed to carve such a detailed and imposing figure from a single piece of stone, using only copper chisels and stone hammers. The purpose of the Sphinx has been the subject of much debate. Some believe it served as a guardian of the Giza Plateau, watching over the pyramids and the tombs of the pharaohs. Others suggest it was a symbol of royal power, with the lion's body representing strength and the human head symbolizing wisdom and authority. There's also a theory that the Sphinx was aligned with the stars, serving as an astronomical marker or even a timekeeping device. One of the most enduring mysteries surrounding the Sphinx is its missing nose. While popular legend attributes the damage to Napoleon's troops, historical records suggest the nose was gone long before Napoleon's arrival. Some theories point to deliberate defacement by religious zealots or rival rulers, while others suggest natural erosion over time. The truth remains elusive, adding to the Sphinx's aura of mystery. Equally intriguing are the theories about hidden chambers beneath the Sphinx. Over the years, various explorations have hinted at the possibility of tunnels or rooms hidden within or below the statue. Some researchers believe these chambers could hold ancient artifacts, records, or even undiscovered tombs. While no definitive evidence has been found, the idea of hidden secrets beneath the Sphinx continues to captivate the imagination of explorers and historians alike. The Great Sphinx of Giza is more than just a statue. It's a symbol of the ancient Egyptians' mastery of art, architecture, and symbolism. Its enduring presence reminds us of the mysteries that still lie buried in the sands of time, waiting to be uncovered. As we move forward, we'll explore another fascinating invention that showcases the brilliance of this ancient civilization, one that continues to inspire awe and wonder to this day. Now, let's journey into one of the most fascinating and intricate practices of ancient Egypt: mummification. This process, far more than just a method of preserving the dead, was deeply rooted in the Egyptians' beliefs about the afterlife. For them, death was not the end but a transition to another realm, and preserving the body was essential to ensure the deceased could continue their journey in the next world. The process of mummification was both complex and meticulous, often taking up to 70 days to complete. It began with the removal of the brain, which was carefully extracted through the nostrils using specialized hooks. The Egyptians believed the heart, not the brain, was the seat of thought and emotion, so it was left in place. Next, the internal organs were removed except for the heart and preserved separately. These organs were placed in special containers known as canopic jars, each guarded by one of the 4 sons of Horus, who were believed to protect the organs for the afterlife. Once the organs were removed, the body was treated with natron, a naturally occurring salt that dried out the tissues and prevented decay. The body was then wrapped in layers of linen bandages, with amulets and charms placed between the layers to provide protection and guidance in the afterlife. The entire process was accompanied by prayers and rituals, ensuring the deceased was prepared for their journey to the realm of the gods. Mummification wasn't just a physical process, it was a spiritual one. The Egyptians believed that the preservation of the body was crucial for the soul's survival. Without a well-preserved body, the soul, or ka, would have no place to reside, and the deceased would be unable to enjoy the afterlife. This belief underscores the importance of mummification in ancient Egyptian culture, making it one of their most significant and enduring practices. The use of natron and canopic jars highlights the Egyptians' advanced understanding of chemistry and anatomy. Natron's drying properties were essential for preserving the body, while the canopic jars showcased their artistry and religious devotion. Each jar was intricately decorated and inscribed with spells to protect the organs they contained. As we reflect on the practice of mummification, it's clear that it was more than just a burial custom. It was a profound expression of the ancient Egyptians' beliefs about life, death, and the afterlife. Their meticulous efforts to preserve the body reveal a civilization deeply invested in ensuring the well-being of their loved ones beyond the grave. Next, we'll uncover another remarkable invention that showcases the ingenuity of this ancient culture, one that continues to stand tall as a symbol of their architectural prowess and spiritual devotion. Now, let's turn our attention to one of ancient Egypt's most iconic and enduring symbols, the obelisk. These towering stone monuments, with their slender, 4-sided design tapering to a pyramid-like apex, were more than just impressive feats of engineering. They were powerful symbols of the sun god Ra and the pharaoh's divine connection to the gods. The construction of an obelisk was a monumental task requiring immense skill and precision. These structures were typically carved from a single block of granite or other hard stone, often quarried from places like Aswan. The process began with workers chiseling out the obelisk shape directly from the bedrock. Once freed, the massive stone was carefully transported to its intended location, a journey that could span hundreds of miles. Transporting an obelisk was no small feat. The ancient Egyptians used a combination of sledges, ramps, and barges to move these colossal stones. On land, workers would drag the obelisk on wooden sledges, lubricating the path with water or mud to reduce friction. For river transport, the obelisk was loaded onto a specially designed barge, which was then floated down the Nile. The logistics of moving such heavy and delicate objects without modern machinery is a testament to the Egyptians' ingenuity and determination. Once at its destination, the obelisk was erected using a system of ramps, ropes, and levers. This process required careful coordination and a deep understanding of physics to ensure the obelisk stood upright without toppling. The base of the obelisk was often inscribed with hieroglyphs, detailing the pharaoh's achievements and their devotion to the gods. Symbolically, obelisks represented the rays of the sun, connecting the earth to the heavens. They were often placed in pairs at the entrances of temples, serving as gateways between the mortal world and the divine. The pyramidion, or pointed top, was sometimes covered in electrum, a mix of gold and silver, to reflect the sun's light and further emphasize its celestial significance. The obelisk was more than just a monument, it was a statement of power, faith, and technological mastery. These structures not only honored the gods but also immortalized the pharaohs who commissioned them, ensuring their legacy would endure for millennia. As we marvel at the obelisks that still stand today, we're reminded of the ancient Egyptians' extraordinary ability to blend art, religion, and engineering into creations that continue to inspire awe. Next, we'll explore another invention that showcases their mastery of time and the cosmos, a device that allowed them to measure the hours of the day with remarkable precision. Now, let's step into the realm of timekeeping, where the ancient Egyptians once again demonstrated their remarkable ingenuity. The sundial, one of the earliest devices used to measure time, stands as a testament to their deep understanding of astronomy and their ability to harness the natural world to meet their needs. The sundial worked by casting a shadow from a gnomon, a raised pointer, onto a marked surface. As the sun moved across the sky, the shadow would shift, indicating the passage of time. This simple yet effective design allowed the Egyptians to divide their day into measurable segments, a concept that was revolutionary for its time. What makes the Egyptian sundial particularly fascinating is its precision. The Egyptians didn't just create a basic tool, they refined it to account for the changing lengths of daylight throughout the year. By carefully calibrating the angles and markings, they ensured that their sundials remained accurate across different seasons. This level of sophistication reflects their advanced knowledge of the sun's movement and their ability to apply that knowledge practically. Sundials were more than just practical tools, they were also symbolic. Timekeeping was deeply intertwined with religion and daily life in ancient Egypt. The sun god Ra, who traveled across the sky each day, was central to their cosmology. By tracking the sun's movement, the sundial connected the people to the divine, reinforcing the idea that time itself was a sacred force governed by the gods. The invention of the sundial also highlights the Egyptians' broader contributions to astronomy. Their observations of celestial bodies laid the groundwork for later advancements in the field. By studying the stars and the sun, they developed a calendar that aligned with the natural cycles of the Nile, ensuring their agricultural practices were timed perfectly with the annual floods. As we reflect on the sundial, we're reminded of how the ancient Egyptians seamlessly blended science, religion, and practicality. This humble device not only helped them organize their days, but also deepened their connection to the cosmos. Next, we'll uncover another invention that transformed their society, a tool that revolutionized agriculture and played a crucial role in feeding their growing population. Now, let's turn our attention to the fertile fields of ancient Egypt, where the invention of the plow transformed the way food was grown and sustained an entire civilization. The plow, a seemingly simple tool, became one of the most significant advancements in agriculture, enabling the Egyptians to cultivate the land more efficiently and feed their rapidly expanding population. The earliest plows were likely little more than pointed sticks or wooden tools dragged through the soil by hand. But as the Egyptians sought to maximize their agricultural output, they refined the design. By attaching the plow to oxen or other draft animals, they could till larger areas of land with far less effort. This innovation marked a turning point in farming, allowing farmers to prepare the soil more thoroughly and plant crops on a much larger scale. What made the Egyptian plow particularly effective was its adaptation to the unique environment of the Nile Valley. The annual flooding of the Nile left behind rich, fertile silt, but it also required tools that could handle the dense, muddy soil. The Egyptians designed their plows to be sturdy and efficient, ensuring they could break through the earth and create furrows for planting. This adaptability was key to their agricultural success, as it allowed them to harness the natural bounty of the Nile to its fullest potential. The impact of the plow extended far beyond the fields. By increasing food production, it supported a growing population and freed up labor for other tasks such as construction, trade, and craftsmanship. This surplus of food also played a crucial role in the development of cities and the rise of a more complex society. With more reliable harvests, the Egyptians could focus on building monuments, advancing technology, and expanding their influence. But the plow wasn't just a practical tool, it also held cultural significance. In Egyptian mythology, the god Osiris was often associated with agriculture and was said to have taught humanity how to cultivate the land. The act of plowing was seen as a sacred duty, connecting the people to the gods and the cycles of nature. This blend of practicality and spirituality underscores how deeply intertwined agriculture was with every aspect of Egyptian life. As we consider the plow's role in ancient Egypt, it's clear that this invention was more than just a farming tool. It was a cornerstone of their civilization. By revolutionizing agriculture, the plow not only fed the people but also fueled the growth of one of history's most remarkable societies. Next, we'll explore another invention that kept time flowing even when the sun went down, a device that measured hours in the dark of night. Now, let's step into the realm of timekeeping, where the ancient Egyptians once again demonstrated their ingenuity with the invention of the water clock. While the sundial was a reliable tool for measuring time during the day, the Egyptians needed a way to track hours after the sun had set. Enter the water clock, a clever device that used the steady flow of water to mark the passage of time, even in the darkest hours of the night. The water clock, or clepsydra, was a simple yet brilliant invention. It consisted of a container filled with water which would slowly drain through a small hole at the bottom. As the water level dropped, markings on the inside of the container indicated the passing hours. The rate at which the water flowed was carefully calibrated to ensure accuracy, making it one of the earliest examples of a consistent timekeeping device. What made the water clock particularly valuable was its versatility. Unlike the sundial, which relied on sunlight, the water clock could be used indoors or at night, providing a reliable way to measure time regardless of the time of day or weather conditions. This was especially important for activities that required precise timing, such as religious ceremonies, which often took place at night. Priests and temple officials used water clocks to ensure rituals were performed at the correct hour, maintaining the sacred rhythms of Egyptian life. The design of the water clock evolved over time, with later versions featuring more sophisticated mechanisms to improve accuracy. Some models included multiple chambers or adjustable holes to account for changes in water pressure, ensuring a steady flow. Others were designed to be portable, allowing them to be used in different locations. These innovations highlight the Egyptians' commitment to refining their tools and adapting them to meet their needs. Beyond its practical uses, the water clock also held symbolic significance. Timekeeping was deeply connected to the Egyptians' understanding of the cosmos and their belief in the cyclical nature of life. The steady drip of water mirrored the eternal flow of the Nile, a river that sustained their civilization and symbolized renewal. In this way, the water clock wasn't just a tool, it was a reflection of their worldview, blending science and spirituality in a way that was uniquely Egyptian. As we reflect on the water clock, it's clear that this invention was more than just a way to measure hours. It was a testament to the Egyptians' ability to solve practical problems with creativity and precision, while also connecting their daily lives to the rhythms of the universe. Next, we'll journey to the coast where another remarkable invention guided ships safely to shore, a towering beacon of light that stood as one of the wonders of the ancient world. Now, let's set sail to the shores of ancient Egypt, where one of the most iconic structures of the ancient world once stood, the Lighthouse of Alexandria. Towering over the bustling port city, this marvel of engineering was not just a beacon of light but a symbol of human ingenuity and ambition. Built during the reign of Ptolemy II in the 3rd century before the Common Era, the Lighthouse of Alexandria was one of the tallest man-made structures of its time, reaching an estimated height of over 100 meters. The lighthouse was constructed on the small island of Pharos, just off the coast of Alexandria, and its primary purpose was to guide ships safely into the harbor. At night, a massive fire at the top of the structure provided a steady light, visible from miles away, while during the day, a reflective mirror system amplified the sun's rays to serve the same purpose. This dual system made the lighthouse an invaluable tool for sailors navigating the unpredictable waters of the Mediterranean, ensuring safe passage for trade ships that carried goods vital to Egypt's economy. But the Lighthouse of Alexandria was more than just a practical aid for navigation. It was a testament to the architectural prowess of the ancient Egyptians and their Greek successors. The structure was divided into three distinct sections: a square base, an octagonal middle, and a cylindrical top. Each level was adorned with intricate carvings and statues, showcasing the artistic skill of its creators. At the very top stood a statue believed to represent either Poseidon, the god of the sea, or Zeus, the king of the gods, further emphasizing the lighthouse's connection to both the divine and the maritime world. For centuries, the Lighthouse of Alexandria stood as a symbol of hope and safety for sailors, but its fate was not to last. Over time, the structure suffered damage from earthquakes, with the final blow coming in the 14th century when a series of tremors reduced it to ruins. Today, all that remains are fragments of its foundation, but its legacy endures as one of the seven wonders of the ancient world. The lighthouse's influence extended far beyond its physical presence. It inspired countless other structures throughout history and became a model for modern lighthouses. Its design and purpose remind us of the ancient Egyptians' ability to blend functionality with artistry, creating structures that served both practical and symbolic roles. As we leave the shores of Alexandria, we're reminded of how this ancient wonder not only illuminated the seas but also the minds of those who marveled at its brilliance. Next, we'll turn our attention to a different kind of invention, one that played a crucial role in warfare and symbolized power and precision in ancient Egypt. Now, let's step onto the battlefield of ancient Egypt, where the sickle sword, known as the khopesh, carved its place in history as a weapon of both power and precision. This uniquely curved blade, resembling a hybrid of a sword and a sickle, was a game-changer in warfare, combining the slashing power of a sword with the hooking ability of an axe. Its design was as practical as it was intimidating, with a sharp outer edge for cutting and a hooked tip that could disarm opponents or pull shields away. The khopesh first emerged during the Bronze Age, around 2,500 years before the Common Era, and quickly became a symbol of Egyptian military might. Its distinctive shape wasn't just for show. It was a highly effective tool in close combat. Soldiers could use it to slash through enemy lines, hook weapons, or even deliver devastating blows to armored opponents. The khopesh was so effective that it became a standard weapon for Egyptian warriors, often wielded by elite troops and pharaohs themselves, who saw it as a symbol of their authority and divine protection. But the sickle sword wasn't just a weapon of war, it carried deep symbolic meaning. Its curved shape was thought to resemble the horns of a bull, an animal associated with strength and fertility in Egyptian culture. This connection to the divine made the khopesh more than just a tool for battle. It was a representation of the pharaoh's power and their role as a protector of the people. In some cases, the khopesh was even used in religious ceremonies, further cementing its place in Egyptian society as both a practical and sacred object. The influence of the khopesh extended far beyond the borders of ancient Egypt. Its design inspired later weapons in neighboring regions, including the Near East and the Mediterranean. The curved blade concept can be seen in weapons like the Greek kopis and the Iberian falcotta, both of which borrowed elements from the khopesh's innovative design. This legacy highlights how the sickle sword wasn't just a product of its time, but a precursor to future advancements in weaponry. As we reflect on the khopesh, it's clear that this weapon was more than just a tool for combat. It was a symbol of innovation, power, and cultural identity. Its unique design and enduring influence remind us of the ancient Egyptians' ability to blend practicality with artistry, creating objects that served both functional and symbolic purposes. Next, we'll shift our focus to another fascinating invention that played a significant role in ancient Egyptian culture: wigs and hairpieces. which were not just fashion statements but also symbols of status and hygiene. Now, let's turn our attention to a surprising yet essential aspect of ancient Egyptian life: wigs and hairpieces. Far from being mere fashion accessories, these intricate creations played a significant role in the daily lives of Egyptians, serving practical, aesthetic, and symbolic purposes. Wigs were a common sight in ancient Egypt, worn by both men and women across all social classes. However, the quality and craftsmanship of these wigs often reflected the wearer's status. Wealthy individuals and royalty adorned themselves with elaborate wigs made from human hair, wool, or plant fibers, often dyed in rich colors like black, blue, or even gold. These wigs were meticulously styled, sometimes featuring intricate braids, curls, or beads, and were often scented with fragrant oils to enhance their appeal. But why did the ancient Egyptians wear wigs? One reason was hygiene. The hot, dry climate of Egypt made it challenging to maintain natural hair, and wigs provided a practical solution. They protected the scalp from the sun and helped keep the head cool. Additionally, wigs could be easily cleaned and maintained, making them a more hygienic option than natural hair, which could attract lice or dirt. Beyond practicality, wigs were also a powerful symbol of social status and identity. For the elite, wearing a finely crafted wig was a way to display wealth and sophistication. Pharaohs and high-ranking officials often wore wigs during ceremonies and public appearances, using them to project an image of authority and divine connection. Even in death, wigs were included in burial practices, ensuring that the deceased maintained their status in the afterlife. Interestingly, wigs weren't just for the living. Statues of gods and goddesses were often adorned with wigs, emphasizing their eternal beauty and power. This practice highlights the cultural significance of wigs as more than just personal adornments. They were deeply intertwined with religious and spiritual beliefs. The materials used to create wigs also tell a fascinating story. While human hair was the most prized, plant fibers like palm leaves and papyrus were also used, especially for everyday wigs. These materials were lightweight and durable, making them ideal for daily wear. The process of wig making was a skilled craft, often passed down through generations, and wig makers were highly respected in Egyptian society. As we explore the world of ancient Egyptian wigs, it's clear that these hairpieces were far more than decorative items. They were a blend of practicality, artistry, and symbolism, reflecting the ingenuity and cultural richness of ancient Egypt. Their legacy reminds us that even the smallest details of daily life can offer profound insights into a civilization's values and achievements. Next, we'll uncover another remarkable invention that showcases the ancient Egyptians' mastery of craftsmanship: their groundbreaking techniques in glassmaking, which produced stunning beads, vessels, and decorative items that still captivate us today. Now, let's step into the shimmering world of ancient Egyptian glassmaking, a craft that showcases their remarkable skill and creativity. The Egyptians were among the earliest civilizations to master the art of glassmaking, producing stunning beads, vessels, and decorative items that still dazzle us today. Their techniques were so advanced that many of their creations remain unmatched in beauty and craftsmanship. Glassmaking in ancient Egypt began around 1500 BC during the New Kingdom period. Initially, glass was a luxury material, often reserved for the elite and used in religious and ceremonial contexts. The Egyptians didn't just use glass, they transformed it into intricate works of art. One of their most iconic creations was the glass bead, which was used in jewelry, amulets, and even clothing embellishments. These beads were often crafted in vibrant colors like deep blue, turquoise, and red, achieved by adding minerals like cobalt, copper, and iron to the glass mixture. But the Egyptians didn't stop at beads. They also produced exquisite glass vessels such as bottles, jars, and cups, using a technique called core forming. This involved shaping a core of clay or sand into the desired vessel shape, then coating it with molten glass. Once the glass cooled and hardened, the core was scraped out, leaving behind a hollow, beautifully crafted vessel. These pieces were often decorated with intricate patterns, such as zigzags, spirals, or floral motifs, showcasing the Egyptians' attention to detail and artistic flair. Another fascinating aspect of Egyptian glassmaking was their use of mosaic glass. This technique involved fusing together small pieces of colored glass to create intricate designs, much like a mosaic. These pieces were then shaped into tiles, inlays, or even small sculptures, often used to decorate furniture, jewelry, and ceremonial objects. The result was a dazzling array of colors and patterns that added a touch of luxury to everyday life. What makes Egyptian glassmaking even more impressive is the precision and innovation behind their techniques. They developed methods to control the temperature and consistency of molten glass, allowing them to create delicate, translucent pieces with remarkable clarity. They also experimented with different materials such as faience, a glass-like ceramic, to produce items that mimic the appearance of precious stones like lapis lazuli and turquoise. The legacy of ancient Egyptian glassmaking extends far beyond their time. Their techniques influenced later civilizations, including the Romans, who adopted and refined many of their methods. Today, archaeologists and historians continue to study Egyptian glass artifacts, marveling at their beauty and the ingenuity behind their creation. As we reflect on the artistry of Egyptian glassmaking, it's clear that this craft was more than just a technical achievement. It was a testament to their creativity, resourcefulness, and dedication to beauty. Their glass creations not only adorned their world but also left a lasting mark on history, reminding us of the timeless allure of human ingenuity. Next, we'll explore another fascinating invention that highlights the Egyptians' innovative spirit: their early use of toothpaste, a surprising yet essential part of their daily lives. Now, let's shift our focus to something that might surprise you: ancient Egyptian toothpaste. Yes, even thousands of years ago, the Egyptians were pioneers in personal hygiene, and their early version of toothpaste is a testament to their innovative approach to health and cleanliness. The ancient Egyptians were deeply concerned with dental care, and their toothpaste was a blend of natural ingredients designed to clean teeth and maintain oral health. While it might not have been minty fresh like the toothpaste we use today, their formula was surprisingly effective. The main ingredients included crushed rock salt, dried iris flowers, mint, and pepper. These components were mixed into a paste, often with a bit of water, to create a gritty yet functional cleaning agent. What's fascinating is how advanced their understanding of dental hygiene was. They recognized the importance of removing food particles and preventing tooth decay, even if they didn't fully understand the science behind it. The abrasiveness of the rock salt helped scrub away plaque, while the mint and iris flowers provided a refreshing sensation and possibly even antibacterial properties. Toothpaste wasn't just a luxury for the elite. It was used by many Egyptians as part of their daily routine. They applied it using their fingers or early versions of toothbrushes made from frayed twigs, known as chew sticks. These sticks not only helped spread the paste but also acted as a primitive form of floss, cleaning between teeth. The Egyptians' dedication to dental care extended beyond toothpaste. They also created remedies for toothaches and gum disease, using ingredients like honey, herbs, and even animal fats. While some of these treatments might seem unconventional by modern standards, they highlight the Egyptians' resourcefulness and their commitment to health and well-being. Interestingly, their toothpaste recipes have been found in ancient texts, giving us a glimpse into their daily lives. These records show that oral hygiene was a priority, and the Egyptians took pride in maintaining clean teeth and fresh breath. Their innovations laid the groundwork for the dental care practices we rely on today. As we marvel at their ingenuity, it's clear that the ancient Egyptians were ahead of their time in more ways than one. Their early toothpaste not only reflects their practical approach to health, but also their desire to improve quality of life through innovation. Next, we'll delve into another groundbreaking invention, the surgical tools that reveal the Egyptians' remarkable knowledge of medicine and anatomy. Now, let's step into the world of ancient Egyptian medicine, where innovation wasn't limited to cosmetics or dental care. The Egyptians were also pioneers in the field of surgery, and their surgical tools reveal a level of sophistication that continues to astonish historians and medical professionals alike. The ancient Egyptians developed a wide array of surgical instruments, many of which bear a striking resemblance to tools used in modern medicine. These instruments were crafted from materials like bronze, copper, and even obsidian, a volcanic glass known for its sharpness. Among the most common tools were scalpels, forceps, probes, and hooks, each designed for specific medical procedures. What's remarkable is how these tools reflect the Egyptians' deep understanding of human anatomy. Through their practice of mummification, they gained extensive knowledge of the body's internal structures, which they applied to surgical techniques. For example, they performed procedures like trepanation, the drilling of holes into the skull to relieve pressure or treat head injuries. They also conducted surgeries to remove tumors, set broken bones, and even perform basic dental work. The precision of their tools and techniques suggests that ancient Egyptian surgeons were highly skilled. Many of their instruments were designed with ergonomic handles for better control, and some even featured interchangeable blades, much like modern surgical tools. This level of innovation indicates a clear focus on improving patient outcomes and minimizing discomfort during procedures. Interestingly, the Egyptians also understood the importance of hygiene in surgery. They used antiseptics made from natural substances like honey and salt to clean wounds and prevent infection. They even had specialized tools for stitching wounds, using materials like linen thread to close incisions. The use of these surgical tools wasn't limited to physical ailments. The Egyptians believed in a connection between the physical and spiritual realms, and some procedures were performed to address what they saw as spiritual imbalances. For instance, they might remove a cyst or growth not just for health reasons but also to restore harmony within the body. What's truly fascinating is how much of their medical knowledge has stood the test of time. Many of the principles they followed, such as the importance of cleanliness and precise incisions, are still foundational in modern surgery. Their tools and techniques laid the groundwork for the medical advancements we benefit from today. As we reflect on their contributions, it's clear that the ancient Egyptians were not only skilled craftsmen but also visionary healers. Their surgical tools are a testament to their ingenuity and their commitment to improving the human condition. Next, we'll explore another everyday innovation that played a significant role in ancient Egyptian life: linen clothing, a fabric that was both practical and deeply symbolic. Now, let's turn our attention to something that touched nearly every aspect of ancient Egyptian life: linen clothing. This lightweight, breathable fabric wasn't just a practical choice for the hot desert climate. It was also deeply woven into their culture, religion, and even their beliefs about the afterlife. Linen was made from flax, a plant that thrived along the fertile banks of the Nile. The process of turning flax into linen was labor-intensive but highly refined. First, the flax plants were harvested and left to soak in water, a step called retting, which helped separate the fibers. These fibers were then beaten, combed, and spun into thread using spindles. Finally, the threads were woven into fabric on looms, creating a material that was both durable and soft. What made linen so popular in ancient Egypt was its versatility. It was lightweight, making it ideal for the scorching heat, and its natural fibers allowed the skin to breathe. But beyond its practicality, linen held symbolic importance. The Egyptians believed that linen was a pure fabric associated with light, life, and the divine. Priests often wore linen garments during rituals, as it was thought to reflect spiritual purity. Even the gods were depicted wearing linen in temple carvings and paintings, linen wasn't just for the living, it played a crucial role in burial practices as well. The dead were often wrapped in linen bandages during mummification, a process that could require hundreds of yards of fabric. The quality of the linen used in burial wrappings often reflected the deceased's social status. Wealthier individuals were wrapped in finer, more intricately woven linen, while simpler versions were used for the less affluent. Interestingly, the color of linen also carried meaning. While most linen was naturally white or off-white, some garments were dyed using plant-based pigments. However, white remained the most sacred color, symbolizing purity and rebirth, themes central to Egyptian beliefs about the afterlife. The production of linen was so integral to Egyptian society that it became a measure of wealth and status. Fine linen garments were prized possessions, often passed down through generations. Even in death, the quality and quantity of linen used in burial wrappings signaled one's importance in life. As we consider the role of linen in ancient Egypt, it's clear that this humble fabric was far more than just clothing. It was a symbol of identity, spirituality, and the eternal cycle of life and death. Next, we'll explore a musical instrument that resonated through the temples and ceremonies of ancient Egypt, the sistrum, a device that bridged the gap between music and the divine. Now, let's shift our focus to a fascinating instrument that filled the temples and ceremonies of ancient Egypt with its unique sound, the sistrum. This handheld musical device wasn't just a tool for creating music, it was a sacred object that connected the earthly and the divine. The sistrum was designed with a distinctive shape, often resembling a small loop or frame with metal rods or wires stretched across it. These rods were fitted with small metal discs or rings that would jingle when the instrument was shaken. The handle of the sistrum was usually adorned with intricate carvings, often featuring the face of Hathor, the goddess of music, joy, and love. This design wasn't just decorative, it symbolized the instrument's spiritual significance. In religious ceremonies, the sistrum played a vital role. Priests and priestesses would shake it rhythmically to produce a soothing, rattling sound believed to appease the gods and ward off evil spirits. The sound of the sistrum was thought to mimic the rustling of reeds along the Nile, a sound deeply connected to life and renewal in Egyptian culture. It was especially associated with Hathor, who was often depicted holding a sistrum, reinforcing its divine connection. But the sistrum wasn't limited to religious settings. It also found its way into festivals, celebrations, and even daily life. Its joyful sound made it a popular instrument for entertainment, bringing a sense of festivity to gatherings. The rhythmic shaking of the sistrum could accompany dances, songs, and processions, adding a lively element to communal events. What makes the sistrum particularly intriguing is its dual purpose. It wasn't just a musical instrument, it was a symbol of harmony and balance. The act of shaking it was seen as a way to restore order and invoke divine blessings. This blend of music and spirituality highlights how deeply intertwined art and religion were in ancient Egyptian society. As we reflect on the sistrum, it's clear that this simple yet elegant instrument was more than just a source of sound. It was a bridge between the human and the divine, a tool for both worship and celebration, and a testament to the creativity and spiritual depth of ancient Egyptian culture. Next, we'll uncover another ingenious invention that helped the ancient Egyptians harness the power of the Nile, the Nilometer, a device that played a crucial role in agriculture and survival. Now, let's turn our attention to a remarkable invention that allowed the ancient Egyptians to master the life-giving force of the Nile, the Nilometer. This ingenious device was not just a tool for measurement, it was a lifeline for an entire civilization, ensuring their survival and prosperity in a land where the river's behavior dictated the rhythm of life. The Nilometer was essentially a structure designed to measure the water levels of the Nile River. It came in various forms, from simple marked columns to more elaborate staircases or wells connected to the river. These structures were strategically placed along the Nile, allowing priests and officials to monitor the water levels with precision. The measurements were crucial because the Nile's annual flood cycle was the backbone of Egyptian agriculture. Too little water meant drought and famine, while too much could lead to devastating floods. What made the Nilometer so vital was its role in predicting the success of the harvest. By tracking the water levels, the Egyptians could estimate the extent of the flood and plan accordingly. If the water rose to an ideal level, it signaled a bountiful season ahead, as the floodwaters would deposit nutrient-rich silt across the fields, creating fertile soil for crops. However, if the water levels were too low or too high, it prompted immediate action, such as rationing food supplies or reinforcing irrigation systems. The Nilometer also held deep religious significance. The annual flooding of the Nile was seen as a gift from the gods, particularly Hapi, the deity of the Nile's inundation. Measuring the water levels was not just a practical task but a sacred duty. Priests would often oversee the readings, interpreting them as messages from the divine. This blend of science and spirituality highlights how the ancient Egyptians viewed their environment as a harmonious interplay between the natural and the supernatural. Beyond its agricultural and religious importance, the Nilometer played a key role in governance. Accurate measurements allowed the pharaoh and his officials to calculate taxes based on the expected harvest. Farmers paid their dues in grain, and the Nilometer's readings ensured fairness and efficiency in this system. It was a testament to the Egyptians' advanced understanding of both nature and administration. As we consider the Nilometer, it's clear that this invention was far more than a simple measuring tool. It was a symbol of the Egyptians' ability to adapt to their environment, harnessing the power of the Nile to build a thriving civilization. The Nilometer stands as a reminder of their ingenuity, foresight, and deep connection to the natural world. Next, we'll explore another invention that revolutionized ancient Egyptian society: the chariot, a symbol of power, speed, and innovation that transformed warfare, hunting, and ceremonial processions. Now let's shift gears and delve into one of the most iconic symbols of ancient Egyptian innovation, the chariot. This remarkable invention wasn't just a mode of transportation. It was a game-changer that transformed warfare, hunting, and even the grandeur of ceremonial processions. The design of the Egyptian chariot was a marvel of engineering. Lightweight yet sturdy, it was typically made from wood, with leather or woven reeds forming the floor. The wheels, often reinforced with metal rims, were designed for speed and maneuverability, allowing the chariot to glide smoothly across the desert sands. What set the Egyptian chariot apart was its simplicity and efficiency. It was pulled by 2 horses and carried a driver and a warrior, making it a highly mobile and versatile tool on the battlefield. In warfare, the chariot was a formidable weapon. It gave the Egyptians a significant tactical advantage, allowing them to move quickly across the battlefield, launch arrows or spears, and retreat before the enemy could react. Chariots were often used to break enemy lines, creating chaos and confusion. The sight of a line of chariots charging forward was enough to strike fear into the hearts of opponents. This innovation not only revolutionized ancient combat but also solidified Egypt's dominance in the region. But the chariot wasn't just a weapon of war. It also played a central role in hunting expeditions, particularly for the elite. Pharaohs and nobles would use chariots to chase down game like lions or gazelles, showcasing their skill and bravery. These hunts were not just about sport, they were symbolic displays of power and control over nature, reinforcing the ruler's divine authority. Chariots also held a prominent place in ceremonial processions. During religious festivals or royal parades, chariots adorned with gold and precious stones would carry the pharaoh or high-ranking officials through the streets. These processions were a visual spectacle designed to awe the populace and reinforce the social hierarchy. The chariot, in this context, became a symbol of status and prestige, a tangible representation of the ruler's connection to the gods and their role as the protector of the people. What's fascinating is how the chariot transcended its practical uses to become a cultural icon. It was often depicted in art and inscriptions, immortalizing its importance in Egyptian society. The chariot wasn't just a tool, it was a statement, a testament to the ingenuity, ambition, and grandeur of ancient Egypt. As we reflect on the chariot's legacy, it's clear that this invention was more than just a vehicle. It was a symbol of power, speed, and innovation that shaped the course of history. From the battlefield to the royal court, the chariot left an indelible mark on Egyptian culture and beyond. Next, we'll uncover another fascinating invention that held deep symbolic meaning in ancient Egypt: the Eye of Horus, a powerful emblem of protection, healing, and divine wisdom. Now, let's turn our attention to one of the most enduring symbols of ancient Egypt, the Eye of Horus. This iconic emblem, often depicted as a stylized eye with distinctive markings, was far more than just a decorative motif. It carried profound spiritual, mathematical, and cultural significance, making it one of the most fascinating inventions of the ancient world. The Eye of Horus, also known as the Wadjet, was deeply rooted in Egyptian mythology. It represented the eye of the falcon-headed god Horus, who was associated with the sky, kingship, and protection. According to legend, Horus lost his eye in a fierce battle with his uncle Set, the god of chaos. The eye was later restored by the god Thoth, symbolizing healing, restoration, and the triumph of order over chaos. This myth gave the Eye of Horus its dual meaning. It became a powerful symbol of protection and renewal, often used in amulets and jewelry to ward off evil and bring good fortune. But the Eye of Horus wasn't just a spiritual symbol, it also had practical applications in mathematics. The ancient Egyptians used the fractions of the eye's design to represent specific measurements. Each part of the eye corresponded to a different fraction, such as 1/2, 1/4, or 1/64. These fractions were used in trade, architecture, and even medicine, showcasing the Egyptians' advanced understanding of mathematics and their ability to integrate symbolic meaning into everyday life. In medicine, the Eye of Horus was believed to have healing properties. Physicians would invoke its power during treatments, and it was often inscribed on medical tools or worn as an amulet by patients. The eye's association with Thoth, the god of wisdom and magic, further reinforced its role in healing and protection. It was thought to bring clarity, insight, and divine intervention, making it a vital part of ancient Egyptian healthcare practices. The cultural significance of the Eye of Horus extended far beyond its practical uses. It was a symbol of royal authority and divine protection, often associated with the pharaohs. The pharaoh was seen as the living embodiment of Horus, and the eye symbolized their divine right to rule and their role as protectors of the people. This connection made the Eye of Horus a recurring motif in art, architecture, and religious texts, ensuring its place in the cultural fabric of ancient Egypt. Even today, the Eye of Horus continues to captivate us. Its timeless design and rich symbolism have made it a popular motif in modern art, jewelry, and even popular culture. It serves as a reminder of the ancient Egyptians' ingenuity and their ability to infuse everyday objects with deep spiritual meaning. As we explore the legacy of the Eye of Horus, it's clear that this symbol was more than just an artistic creation. It was a multifaceted invention that bridged the spiritual and the practical, leaving an indelible mark on history. Next, we'll step back in time to uncover the architectural marvel that laid the foundation for Egypt's iconic pyramids, the Step Pyramid of Djoser, a groundbreaking innovation that changed the course of ancient engineering. Now, let's journey to the dawn of monumental architecture in ancient Egypt with the Step Pyramid of Djoser. This awe-inspiring structure, located in Saqqara, marks a pivotal moment in history as the first large-scale stone building ever constructed. Designed by the brilliant architect Imhotep, the Step Pyramid was not just a tomb for Pharaoh Djoser, but a revolutionary leap in engineering and design that set the stage for the iconic pyramids to come. The Step Pyramid began as a traditional mastaba, a flat-roofed rectangular tomb made of mud brick. However, Imhotep envisioned something far grander. He stacked 6 mastabas of decreasing size on top of one another, creating a towering, stepped structure that reached nearly 200 feet into the sky. This innovative design was a bold departure from earlier burial practices and showcased the Egyptians' growing mastery of stone construction. What makes the Step Pyramid truly remarkable is its use of limestone, a material that had never been used on such a massive scale before. The shift from mud brick to stone was a game-changer, allowing for greater durability and precision in construction. The pyramid's intricate network of tunnels, chambers, and courtyards beneath the surface further demonstrated the Egyptians' advanced understanding of architecture and their ability to plan and execute complex projects. The Step Pyramid was more than just a tomb. It was a symbol of Pharaoh Djoser's divine power and eternal legacy. The surrounding complex included temples, shrines, and ceremonial spaces, all designed to honor the pharaoh and ensure his safe passage to the afterlife. This grand architectural ensemble reflected the Egyptians' belief in the afterlife and their dedication to preserving the memory of their rulers for eternity. Imhotep's genius didn't stop at the pyramid's design. He also introduced new techniques for quarrying, transporting, and assembling stone blocks, laying the groundwork for future monumental projects. His innovations paved the way for the smooth-sided pyramids of Giza, which would become some of the most iconic structures in human history. The Step Pyramid of Djoser stands as a testament to the ingenuity and ambition of ancient Egypt. It was a bold experiment that redefined what was possible in architecture and set a new standard for grandeur and innovation. As we marvel at its towering steps, we're reminded of the vision and skill that transformed a simple tomb into a lasting symbol of human achievement. Next, we'll explore the tools and materials that brought ancient Egyptian ideas to life, diving into the invention of ink and writing instruments that revolutionized communication and record-keeping. Now, let's shift our focus to one of the most transformative inventions of ancient Egypt, ink and writing tools. These seemingly simple creations played a monumental role in shaping the civilization's ability to record, communicate, and preserve knowledge. Without them, much of what we know about ancient Egypt today would have been lost to time. The ancient Egyptians developed ink using a mixture of soot or charcoal, water, and a binding agent like gum arabic. This combination created a durable, long-lasting ink that could be applied to papyrus, pottery, or even stone. The result was a writing medium that was both practical and versatile, allowing scribes to document everything from religious texts and legal contracts to personal letters and administrative records. But ink was only half the story. The tools used to apply it were equally ingenious. Scribes relied on reed brushes or pens crafted from the stems of marsh plants. These reeds were cut at an angle to create a fine tip, enabling precise and elegant writing. Over time, the design of these tools evolved, with some pens featuring split nibs that allowed for more controlled ink flow. This attention to detail highlights the Egyptians' dedication to perfecting their craft. The invention of ink and writing tools revolutionized the way knowledge was shared and preserved. Scribes, who were highly respected members of society, used these tools to record everything from the pharaoh's decrees to the intricate details of daily life. This written record became the backbone of administration, enabling the efficient management of resources, trade, and governance across the vast Egyptian empire. Beyond practicality, ink and writing tools also played a crucial role in the spread of culture and religion. Sacred texts such as the Book of the Dead were meticulously written and illustrated, ensuring that religious beliefs and rituals were passed down through generations. These documents were not just functional, they were works of art showcasing the scribe's skill and creativity. The the legacy of ancient Egyptian ink and writing tools extends far beyond their time. Their innovations laid the foundation for the development of writing systems and tools that would shape civilizations for millennia. From the scrolls of ancient Rome to the manuscripts of the Middle Ages, the influence of Egyptian writing technology is undeniable. As we reflect on this remarkable invention, we're reminded of the power of the written word to connect, inform, and inspire. The tools and techniques developed by the ancient Egyptians not only transformed their own society, but also left an indelible mark on human history. Next, we'll wrap up our journey through the fascinating world of ancient Egyptian inventions, revisiting the incredible innovations that continue to captivate us today. As we come to the end of our journey through the incredible inventions of ancient Egypt, it's clear that this civilization was far ahead of its time. From the towering pyramids and the intricate art of mummification to the practical innovations like the Shaduf and the water clock, each invention reveals a society deeply committed to progress, creativity, and problem-solving. These advancements weren't just about survival or practicality. They were expressions of a culture that valued knowledge, beauty, and the pursuit of the extraordinary. The impact of these inventions on ancient Egyptian society was profound. They transformed daily life, enabling everything from efficient farming and timekeeping to the preservation of history and the celebration of religious beliefs. But their influence didn't stop there. Many of these innovations laid the groundwork for technologies and practices that would shape civilizations for centuries to come. The legacy of ancient Egypt is woven into the fabric of human history, reminding us of the power of ingenuity and the enduring quest for understanding. As we reflect on these 25 remarkable inventions, it's impossible not to feel a sense of awe and admiration for the people who created them. Their achievements continue to inspire us, offering a glimpse into a world where imagination and determination knew no bounds. Now it's your turn to join the conversation. Which of these ancient Egyptian inventions fascinates you the most? Do you think their innovations still influence us today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the wonders of ancient Egypt, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an exploration into the mysteries of history. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep exploring the past to uncover the stories that shape our world.